Magic Order, Volume 1, written by Mark Millar, art by Olivier Coipel. Happy Halloween, everyone! This week I'm covering Mark Millar's The Magic Order, and I specifically chose this book to cover on Halloween because I think it ties in nicely with its horror and mystery elements. So The Magic Order, written by Mark Millar, is going to be adapted by Netflix. It's in production. It's going to be a TV show. I have a feeling it won't be done for the next 2 or 3 years or so, though, but when it does come out, I think it is going to be pretty good. Now, Millar has described this book as Harry Potter meets The Sopranos. So it's kind of like Harry Potter because you have wizards and magicians and magic, and it's kind of like Sopranos because there's a criminal street level kind of element. There's not really a whole mafia thing going on, though. I really feel this book is a lot like Millar's other book, Jupiter's Legacy, in a sense that there's a family battling another kind of family, and they all have kind of powers. But this book is honestly very, very fun. I think you will all highly enjoy it. There's lots of twists and turns and mystery in the story, and I was pleasantly surprised how good this book was. I do have to say, though, when I was reading the first issue or two, I really felt there was a lot of characters to wrap my head around and try to figure out what was going on, and there's a lot of world building with how this whole magic world works. But once you get it, it is very compelling and very good. So let's dive into it. Volume 1 of The Magic Order. Before I dive into issue 1, I want to do a little character breakdown. So in the world of the Magic Order, there are magicians, sorcerers, and wizards. And there is a group called the Magic Order. And for thousands of years, they have protected us humans from the forces of darkness, so we can sleep soundly at night. The main magic family we will be spending time with in this volume is the Moonstone family. The father is Leonard Moonstone. He is the head of the Moonstone family and the head of the Magic Order. He often had affairs with many women over the years, so his wife eventually walked out on him at some point, and she is not in the picture, and we will not see her in this volume. Leonard Moonstone's children are Regan Moonstone. He owns a nightclub in Boston. Cordelia Moonstone. She is unreliable and a loose cannon who likes to kind of do her own thing and break the rules. She works as a children's entertainer, stage magician, and a professional escapologist. There is Gabriel Moonstone. His daughter died many years ago, and because of her death, he is kind of leaving the world of magic behind him. Gabriel's wife is Louise Moonstone, and since their daughter died, she has been suffering from depression. Rosetta Moonstone is the dead daughter of Gabriel and Louise. She passed away when she was just a little girl. She was trying to impress her friends by showing them her father's magic wand, and she accidentally killed herself with that magic wand. Kind of like if you had a gun in the home and your child accidentally killed themselves with it. You would feel responsible. And Gabriel has never forgiven himself for leaving that magic wand in a place that Rosetta could get to it. And Gabriel, he would do anything to bring her back. There are other members of the Order we will meet in this book, as well as their counterparts, the Renegades, which are at odds with the Magic Order, but we will learn about everyone else as the book progresses. So let's dive into the story. Issue 1. The cover to this issue has Leonard, Gabriel, Regan, and Cordelia Moonstone levitating above a cityscape. This is also the same cover image used for Volume 1 of the trade paperback. A wizard named Eddie Lasowski is having sex with his wife Diane, and after they finish their intercourse, they go to sleep. Now Eddie, he is a member of this magic order that protects us from the forces of darkness. Outside his apartment, on a nearby building, surveying Eddie and his wife, are two members of the Renegades. a rival group to the Magic Order. There is Lord Cornwall, he is a shapeshifter, and there is an assassin known as the Venetian. The Venetian's Venetian robes make him untraceable, so he can kind of hide what he is doing and not be detected by other magic users. So the magic assassin, the Venetian, is brandishing his magic wand, and with his magic, he takes over the mind of Eddie's child and is controlling the boy. He makes Eddie's boy walk over to the kitchen and grab a butcher knife. He then makes the boy walk into his parents' bedroom. He's even layering on another set of magic that is canceling all sound in the room so they won't hear the boy approaching. And the Venetian makes the little boy stab his dad in the head with that butcher knife, killing him. The mother, Diane, she wakes up and sees that her husband is dead, and it appears her own son killed him. The son eerily puts a finger to his lips, signaling her to be quiet. The two renegade members talking to each other outside say, "It's over, first wizard down." Elsewhere, we are now getting introduced to the various members of the Moonstone family I introduced earlier. So we see Cordelia Moonstone, the rambunctious troublemaker. She was doing a magic gig at a 5-year-old's birthday party, and then she was having sex with the husband, and the wife caught them and attacked Cordelia. So Cordelia punched the wife out, then the cops came and arrested her. What a mess. Cordelia is in the back of the police cruiser. Now Cordelia, she's not only an entertainer, but she's also a professional escapologist. And she manages to slip out of the handcuffs that the cops put her in and somehow get out of the back of the police car too. The cops turn around and see her missing and are stunned. How did she do it? We see Leonard Moonstone, the father of the Moonstone family. He is performing a magic show in a little theater called the Coliseum. Leonard does the old catch a bullet in your mouth trick for the crowd, and the crowd is very impressed. After the show, Leonard goes backstage, and he is greeted by his son, Regan. And we meet another man named Charlie, who seems to kind of run the business in the theater. We learn that a member of the Moonstone family has performed on stage here in this Coliseum theater since 1885. Leonard is a little worried about who will take his place once he is gone. Regan is busy with his nightclub, Cordelia is unreliable, and Gabriel's concerns lie elsewhere. A few days later, news of Eddie Lasowski's death gets around, and a funeral is held for him. Eddie was the wizard we saw die in the beginning of this issue. At the funeral, Eddie's wife Diane is crying. Leonard, he performs some sort of ritual where he breaks Eddie's wand in half and tosses it in the grave with him. The various magician wizards there discuss who was responsible for this death. What kind of sick person uses a kid for a magical hit? Just at that moment, the members of the Renegades arrive, the rivals to the Magic Order. Madame Albany is their leader. She has pale white skin and wears a bondage-type looking mask. She looks pretty creepy. There is Lord Cornwall, the shapeshifter, and there are various other members of Madame Albany's crew. We don't really learn their names though. Absent is the deadly assassin known as the Venetian. He was the one that performed the magical hit earlier in the story. So Madame Albany says hello to everyone at the funeral, and Leonard Moonstone tells her that she shouldn't be here. Madame Albany replies, "Why not? Eddie Lasowski was my cousin too, and I have very fond memories of our time in the Order, all those years pretending to be normal, protecting humanity from things they can't imagine. It's a thankless task, being one of the Guardians, but a noble cause stretching back centuries." So, some clues we can put together on Madame Albany for now is that she used to be a member of the Magic Order, and Eddie was actually her cousin. But it is clear she is kind of on the outs with the Magic Order now, and is not welcome here. and most of the Magic Order seems to think that she was responsible for Eddie's death, because she kind of was. Regan Moonstone tells Madame Albany, "We know you did this, you skinny-ass witch." Madame Albany replies, "That's quite an accusation." Leonard tells Madame Albany she is upsetting Eddie's wife, Diane, and Madame Albany asks, "Why not just resurrect him?" She then tells the others at the funeral that Leonard has that power. She explains, "He can do that, you know, raise people from the dead. You wouldn't believe the things he can do since he inherited a certain dusty book that should have gone to me." So, what is Madame Albany upset about? Let's step away from this funeral scene for a bit so I can give a little history lesson, so we can understand what the general disagreement is here. So Madame Albany's father was named Conrad Albany, and he had possession of a magical book called the Orichalcum. It has the darkest spells of old Atlantis, and it is powered through history by human sacrifice. It is said to be the cause of the 2 world wars. It is a dusty old book that can't be destroyed. It has spells inside that could slay a deity. When Conrad Albany died, he didn't trust his daughter, Madame Albany, with the book. So rather than pass the Orichalcum onto his daughter, he instead left the book to Leonard Moonstone, on the condition that he never opened the book, never try to use the spells inside. And Leonard Moonstone obeyed that wish, and kept the book protected in Moonstone Castle. Madame Albany, she wants that book though. She wants to know the dark spells within, and she feels it is her right to know them. Madame Albany used to be a member of the Magic Order, but when she was barred from reading the Orichalcum, it pissed her off, and she broke away from the Magic Order and formed a group called the Renegades. And now their goal is to retrieve that book, so we assume they can use the dark magic within it. So, let's go back to the funeral scene now and pick up where we left off. So Madame Albany was causing a scene and said that they should just resurrect this now dead Eddie, because there are spells in the Orichalcum that can resurrect the dead. She tells the others that Leonard has the power to do that, and that book should have gone to her. Leonard, listening to her, tells her to have some decency and leave this funeral. One of Madame Albany's teammates, Lord Cornwall, the shapeshifter, he changes his form to look like the deceased Eddie, except he's all bloodied and mangled looking. Regan tells Lord Cornwall to get his shape-shifting ass out of here. Madame Albany and her renegade group leave. Regan and Leonard Moonstone talk, and they speculate that Madame Albany is basically declaring war on them. This wasn't just a one-off thing. Although they don't have exact proof she was responsible yet, they are just assuming. Cordelia Moonstone, she finally arrives to the funeral, but she is late. She apologizes, and her dad is unimpressed with her tardiness. Regan talks to his dad and says that he will check in on his brother Gabriel Moonstone that didn't bother even showing up to this funeral. Gabriel Moonstone, he didn't bother coming to the funeral for Eddie, even though he was close with Eddie back in the day, because ever since his daughter Rosetta died, Gabriel has kind of ignored the magic community and his old life within it. Regan, he teleports over to his brother and they discuss matters. Gabriel still says he wishes to not be a part of the Magic Order and everything going on within it. But Regan warns his brother about the conflict with this Madame Albany that seems to be approaching, and he tells Gabriel that he might not be safe, nor his family. Gabriel just kind of blows it all off, though. Elsewhere, in San Francisco, we meet another wizard magician, an Asian man named Dong Sun. Dong Sun is another member of the Magic Order. He is talking to another man named Justin. Dong Sun is trying to remove a curse on Justin's mother, who is an elderly woman. As Dong Sun is doing his work, he eventually discovers that they are caught in something called a changing spell. Their surroundings in this apartment are not what they seem. The carpet looks wrong, the clock is wrong, the curtains are wrong. Justin is confirming that this room is not like it usually looks. Dong Sun realizes what is happening, that they are in this changing spell, so he whips out his magic wand and he explains to Justin, "In less than a minute, we won't exist and someone else will live here," convinced that they always have lived here. All of a sudden, the world of the room they are in goes all inverted and pixelated and washed out, and it reverses and flips and reality is just messing about. And Dong Sun, holding his wand, yells, "I don't know who you are, you son of a bitch, but you've really brought your A game to this." All of a sudden, the room is done flipping and reversing and pixelating, and reality settles. And all of a sudden, Dong Sun and Justin and the elderly woman are gone. And there is a black couple in the room, and they live here now. And they are convinced that they have always lived here. The wife asks her husband, "What do you want to watch?" And the husband answers, "I don't know, see if there's anything funny on." And we see behind them, the assassin of Madame Albanese, the Venetian, is standing there. He is the one that cast this changing spell that killed Dong Sun as well as this Justin. Madame Albany and her crew have just killed another wizard of the Magic Order. Issue 2. On the cover of this issue, we see a character named Edith the Librarian, who we will be introduced to in this issue. She appears to be sitting in the back seat of a car underwater. We learn a little bit about Cordelia Moonstone's backstory. See, Leonard Moonstone, her dad, had an affair with one of his stage assistants. The stage assistant was going to get an abortion, and Cordelia, in the womb, somehow realized that this abortion was coming, so she instinctively, with her powers kicking in while she was a fetus in the womb, jumped out of her mom's body and into the surgeon's body that was going to perform the abortion. The surgeon was a female. Cordelia even changed the surgeon's blood type, and Cordelia lived in there in that surgeon for 4 months while the surgeon carried Cordelia to term. And once Cordelia was born, Leonard, he ended up adopting his daughter. So Cordelia, even as a fetus, had a messed up beginning to her life. Cordelia, she was an attention seeker as a child. She liked performing. When she was in elementary school, she did a little magic performance. We see her in a straitjacket. She was on the roof of her school and she jumped off the roof into a flaming oil tank and she somehow survived. And her classmates thought it was the coolest thing, but her teachers were freaking out. And Cordelia was forced to move and change schools a lot. So enough of the Cordelia flashbacks. We jump back to the current day and we see Regan Moonstone, and he is in his nightclub in Boston and he is reading the newspaper, and the newspaper magically tells him that he is needed at Moonstone Castle for a meeting. So using his wand, he teleports himself over there. Moonstone Castle rests in an old oil painting on the 2nd floor of the Art Institute of Chicago. The castle was hidden inside the painting after a security breach in 1864, and now only those formally invited to the castle are able to step through the door of the painting to get to it. Madame Albany and her renegades would not be able to get inside because they would not be formally invited. Regan Moonstone is invited though, so he steps into the painting, and now he is walking towards Moonstone Castle. On his way, he meets his Uncle Edgar. Uncle Edgar was a pretty powerful, badass warrior magician in his younger days. But now, as an older man, he pretty much just stays in the castle in the painting. In fact, he is forbidden from leaving. So Regan and Uncle Edgar join the rest of the magic order at a big round table situated in the castle's library. Regan's dad, Leonard Moonstone, is there. Leonard tells his son, Dong's son and this other woman, Katrina, are missing now too. So that is 3 wizards taken down now. Whoever is behind this is accelerating things. Regan, confidently, and by the way accurately, believes Madame Albany is behind this, and says that they should just get over there and kill her and take her down. Apparently there are rules though. Leonard explains exactly what Madame Albany would want us to do, boy. An attack without evidence is an etiquette breach, and Moonstone Castle would be hers to claim. All we know is that she's partnered with someone very grand, and he's taken down 3 wizards without skipping a beat. So, they can't attack this Madame Albany because they don't have evidence yet, and if they did attack her without that evidence, Madame Albany would all of a sudden be allowed to enter into Moonstone Castle through the painting, whereas right now she is barred from doing that. Cordelia, listening to this conversation, can't believe that there was all this fighting all over this stupid book, this orichalcum. Edith, the librarian, speaks up. Her job has been to keep the orichalcum secure in the castle's library for many years. She talks about the various dark powers of the book and how dangerous it is. Cordelia says, I don't mean any offense, Edith, I just mean Madame Albany turning to the dark side could have all been avoided if Uncle Conrad had given the book to her instead of my dad. Leonard argues that the book would be too dangerous in Madame Albany's hands, and he is probably right. Leonard tells the group that they need to keep their wits about them. They need answers. Someone in the shadow world will have to have information on this that can be useful to them. All of a sudden, another member of the Magic Order's roundtable, a man named Willie, gets a notification on his phone, and he says there has been a break-in at a place called the Vault. Later on in Ohio, in a little suburban home, Regan and Cordelia Moonstone teleport there and arrive, as this little suburban home is the location of the vault that was broken into. A fat man named Ray greets the 2 of them and escorts them down into the basement. They enter a red room with all sorts of mystical weapons all around them. Also, little Easter egg on Ray's t-shirt, he has an image of the superhero Kick-Ass, which is a tie-in to one of Mark Millar's other books, Kick-Ass. In a lot of Millar's series, he often has these little tie-ins to his other books. So Ray tells Regan and Cordelia that the bastards stole the horologium. The horologium is some sort of monster that eats time. So what is Madame Albany going to do with this time monster? They also took something called a soul camera. Over in Los Angeles, Madame Albany, Lord Cornwall, and the Venetian with the soul camera are going to use it to wipe out another member of the Magic Order. With the soul camera, they take a picture of Magic Order member Willie, and the Venetian, holding the Polaroid picture of Willie, crushes that picture in his hands, and somehow that kills Willie. Later on, over in New York, Magic Order member Edith, the librarian, is in a taxi cab. And the Venetian, whom we just saw in Los Angeles, has now teleported himself over to New York, and he walks up to the cab that Edith is in the back of, and with his magic wand, he says, "Fill her up," and the taxi fills with water, and Edith drowns and dies. This is the imagery we saw foreshadowed on the cover of issue 2. Next, over in Philadelphia, another Magic Order member, this one named Mo Rizza, is shaving in front of his bathroom mirror, and the Venetian somehow grabs him through the mirror, shattering the glass, and kills him, and traps Mo Rizza in a different world that is within the mirror. I don't know, man, it's magic, it's weird. And out of the mirror come Madame Albany and her crew. They have killed this Mo Rizza, and they approach Mo's wife, Carmela. They are going to leave her alive, but Madame Albany tells her, "Now don't cry, Carmela. We're not going to hurt you. In fact, we need you safe and well, so you can deliver a message to Leonard Moonstone. Tell him he's next." And we see Carmela is crying profusely as Madame Albany is pointing her wand and threatening her with it. Issue 3. On the cover of this issue, we see a whole bunch of Madame Albanys in some kind of crazy sex orgy with themselves. A slightly sexy but also very creepy and disturbing image. In New York City, Regan Moonstone confronts a magic user named Rufus, who is part of Madame Albany's crew. Rufus is feeding off the sexual energy of 2 homeless drunks having sex nearby. When Rufus sees Regan, he tries to run away. He phases through the ground and finds himself in a New York City subway car. Cordelia Moonstone, though, is already in that subway car, waiting for him. Cordelia uses her magic to turn Rufus into a human candle, so he can't escape. Regan, he teleports in to join his sister as they interrogate this Rufus. They ask Rufus, who is this assassin that Madame Albany is working with? And Rufus answers, it's someone you've never fought before, Regan. Plucked from total darkness. He's dressed in Venetian robes, which makes him totally untraceable. Regan asks, so who is it? And Rufus answers, you'll find out when she's running the order. She'll have the orichalcum and all of its secrets, and then our side will be in charge for a change. Cordelia tells him, you're gonna be dead, you idiot. And Rufus replies, not when she has the book. You can burn me away as much as you like, but Madame Albany will just bring me back. Regan stomps Rufus, who is a human candle, and seems to kill him. Elsewhere, we see Gabriel Moonstone is driving around and talking to his dad, Leonard, who's in the back seat. Leonard tells Gabriel that he's worried about him. With all the people being killed recently, Gabriel says he is finished with that magic world. He is trying to move on from it. His wife Louise cries herself to sleep every night because of Rosetta's death. Leonard tells Gabriel, couldn't you just use your magic to make her forget? Gabriel scowls at his dad for suggesting this and says, I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Leonard warns his son that he might be a target. He also compliments Gabriel and says that he was the wizard in the family that showed the most promise. We jump over to a place called the Black Kingdom. This is where the base of the Renegades is. The Black Kingdom is said to be located in a crack in an asylum wall. Others say it is placed in the shadow of a former church, but nobody knows its location for sure. Madame Albany and Lord Cornwall are talking about what Madame Albany will do once she has the book. Lord Cornwall asks if she will release hell across the world. Madame Albany answers, my father said I couldn't be trusted, that I was too messed up to inherit his book, but I plan to be the most angelic leader in the Magic Order's history. I'm gonna go back to my old secret identity too, working in a supermarket, riding the bus, not being able to afford the things I really want. Everything will be exactly as it was. And Lord Cornwall asks why. And Madame Albany replies to prove them wrong, just like I said. It's important they realize that they made a mistake when they said I was unfit to have the orichalcum. Madame Albany stops that conversation and then tells Lord Cornwall, "Now, turn into something interesting before we kill Moonstone. I want to have sex with something legendary and really get my heart rate going." And Lord Cornwall shapeshifts into the form of Madame Albany herself, and the two of them make love. Over at the Coliseum Theater, Leonard Moonstone is doing his typical magic performance to a crowd of people, when all of a sudden the Venetian stands up in the crowd, and Leonard knows that this Venetian is here to battle and kill him. Leonard casts a magic spell to get the crowd to leave the show. They will only have memories of a spectacular night they will always treasure. So the crowd makes their way outside of the theater and onto the street. And now the Venetian and Leonard are alone. The Venetian taunts Leonard and says, "It's a shame your son isn't here too, as I wanted to kill you both. Ironic he's out there looking for me." Leonard replies, "Well, I hope he'll finish when I start. I might not be able to beat you myself, but I suspect I can weaken you for one of my children." They both hold their wands out, preparing to duel, and they fire out a big glowy lightning energy force at each other, and the two energy streams combine. The two of them are in a little bit of a stalemate, though, but the Venetian has a trick up his sleeve. He has a magical monster called a Thenoba with him. A Thenoba is a creature plucked from the subconscious mind of a nearby child having trouble sleeping. It's got 100 eyes and 1,000 mouths and exists just outside visible light. That's a weird monster, man. The invisible monster somehow rips Leonard's arm off, his wand-weaving arm. And at Moonstone Castle, Uncle Edgar senses this, that Leonard is dying. Leonard, he screams in pain. Madame Albany and her crew have arrived now and are watching the battle from a balcony up above. Madame Albany comments, "Oh, Leonard, this was too easy. We're going to murder your children after this." The Venetian then stomps out whatever life is left in Leonard. Cordelia, elsewhere, she can sense her father's passing. She tells Regan, "There's something wrong with Dad." Madame Albany, she then inspects Leonard's mangled corpse. His body is what appears to be a swimming pool of blood. And Madame Albany confirms, oh yes, he's definitely dead. Issue 4. On the cover to this issue, we see Gabriel Moonstone in what appears to be the suburbs, and we see a whole bunch of red skulls around him. In this issue, we learn of a magical hotel called the Abington Hotel. It is a wizards-only hotel existing outside of time and space. Through a flashback to 1945 during World War II, we see outside of the Abington Hotel, there is a group of people, 3 cars, and they are all overlooking a cliff, and they are surrounded by fog. We see Leonard Moonstone's father, Bertie Moonstone, and he is talking with some others. One of the people he is talking to is Conrad Albany, the father of Madame Albany, and they are discussing World War II and the battle with the Nazis, as well as the battles taking place on other planes of existence all over this orichalcum book. The group of people notice that Cordelia Moonstone is hiding in a trunk. Cordelia is just a little girl. She actually traveled here from 2003. Cordelia, she was always causing mischief, especially as a child. She talks to her grandfather, Bertie. Bertie, he doesn't even have any children at this point in time, and he's meeting his granddaughter right now? Cordelia gives her grandfather a business card. It says that she is an escapologist, and Cordelia then steals her grandfather's car and drives away. Back in the current day, at Moonstone Castle, Cordelia, Regan, and Uncle Edgar are discussing their next moves now that Leonard is dead. Regan, he is the new head of the Magic Order, and he wants to go to war with this Madame Albany. Uncle Edgar cautions, though, that Madame Albany would defeat them if they attacked her head-on, so he suggests a peace summit at the Abington Hotel, the wizards-only hotel existing outside of time and space. Uncle Edgar says he would join the two of them for this meeting, but he is forbidden from leaving Moonstone Castle. So later on, after the appropriate messages were sent, Cordelia and Regan join Madame Albany at the Abington Hotel in the dining hall. The Abington Hotel is kind of like the Continental Hotel in the John Wick movies. It is neutral ground. You are not allowed to attack another wizard there, or you will be expelled from the magical community. Madame Albany comments that the building is pretty interesting. It touches every point in time at once. That's why we are forbidden to speak to other diners, and we must return through the door that we came in. Madame Albany, she looks a few tables over in the dining hall and sees her father, Conrad Albany, in the 1940s, talking to other magic users. The two of them make eye contact, and Madame Albany comments to Lord Cornwall, "That's my father over there with the 40s Magic Order. Look at the way he's scowling at me. I wonder if this is when he saw me and decided that I couldn't be trusted?" And Lord Cornwall asks, "Wouldn't he have had to make that decision before you left the Order, Madame Albany?" And Madame Albany replies, "Magic doesn't work that way, my dear Cornwall. It doesn't have to be linear. Now please stop trying to be clever, and let's get back to the proposal." So Madame Albany, Regan, and Cordelia get to talking. Cordelia offers these terms. She says, "We're offering a truce, an end to the problems we've all had recently. We're not making any accusations here, just diffusing whatever tensions we can. The root of these tensions is the orichalcum, and so we're proposing to give it away to a neutral third party that both sides can agree on." Regan says, "We'd also like to offer you a full return to the Magic Order and to draw a line under everything that's happened. We appreciate you are not out to destroy the world, and we're sorry for even hinting that you're completely screwed up in the head." Madame Albany replies, "Well, that's a beautiful sentiment, Regan. Was this chicken shit idea from your Uncle Edgar? He always was the most dreadful coward, but he seems to have been haunting that fine castle of ours since someone laid the very first brick, so allow me to counter with my own proposal. We want the orichalcum and every other book in your father's library. We want the castle, your treasures, and complete control of the Magic Order. And we aren't going to rest until you bitches are in the ground and my shapeshifter here takes a shit on your graves. Because there's not going to be a peaceful resolution. This is a wipeout, and your poor bereaved brother is next." Oh, come on. Did you really think the assassin we summoned wouldn't find his little hiding place in the suburbs? The new name, the job? Gabriel's already dead in that life. We're only going to make it official. And as Madame Albany finishes, she grabs her champagne and turns to her dad from the 1940s a few tables over and she says, "Cheers, Dad! Fuck you for never trusting me!" So we jump over to the suburbs. Gabriel is driving home. All of a sudden, a little girl steps in front of his car. Her name is Molly. Gabriel recognizes her as a girl in the neighborhood he often sees. Molly all of a sudden starts getting really old though. She becomes a teenager, an adult, an old woman, and then she dies and turns to bones. Gabriel, he runs out of his car to try and help her, and then he recognizes what is happening. The Horologium monster, otherwise known as the Time Eater, It is eating up time from anything it touches in the area. This is the monster that was stolen from the vault by Madame Albany's crew earlier. So Gabriel, he starts running home. He is trying to outrun the monster that is destroying stuff behind him. Gabriel, he leaps into the air through the window of his home. He grabs his magical wand and he grabs his wife Louise, and he flies outside of his home and places Louise on the ground. He then casts a spell that freezes time for 60 seconds. He then flies high up into the sky to battle the monster. Regan and Cordelia Moonstone, they teleport and arrive in the neighborhood. They are here to save their brother, but luckily they were not needed. Gabriel, after battling the monster in the sky, then returns back down to the ground, and he has the Horologium monster trapped in a little glass vial. And Gabriel comments, "Everything is going to be fine." And Gabriel hugs his wife. Regan comments to Gabriel, "Man, I forgot how badass you are." Regan asks his brother, "So, what do you want to do now, Gabriel? There's no dad now, dude. No senior order. How do you want to respond?" And Gabriel answers, "I say it's time we hit back." And then we have a nice hero pose of the 3 Moonstone siblings along with Gabriel's wife, Louise, now prepared that they have to do battle. Issue 5. The cover to this issue has Regan Moonstone in his underwear, holding a wand to his head and appearing to blow his head off. We'll have to see the significance of this cover later on in this issue. The Moonstone family all retreat back to their castle in the painting in the Art Institute of Chicago. Gabriel has brought his wife, Louise, for safekeeping while the war is going to be raging on outside. The castle is the only place Madame Albany and her renegades will not be able to get to. Uncle Edgar greets them all and invites Louise in. The 3 siblings talk and prepare for battle. Gabriel, Regan, and Cordelia eventually leave to go hunt down Madame Albany's gatekeeper, a man named Angus. And they are going to see if they can get Angus to tell them the location of Madame Albany's hideout, which is known as the Black Kingdom. So the Moonstones teleport in front of Angus, who is driving a car. Gabriel makes Angus crash the car and suffer brain damage, but then he jumps back in time 60 seconds, and Angus is confused. He just crashed his car and now he's fine. What just happened? Gabriel and his siblings are now in the back seat of Angus's car, and Gabriel explains, "I'm afraid you were brain damaged in a terrible accident, but I've got a magic spell that lets you jump back 60 seconds and rectify mistakes. You can only do it once though, but once is all you're gonna need if you tell us what we need to know." Angus, he refuses to give up Madame Albany's location, so the Moonstones use a different trick. They hit Angus with some sort of magical book, a copy of Robinson Crusoe. Angus, he starts experiencing the book, and he is trapped on a deserted island in what feels like 15 years. Finally, Angus, looking like an old man, reveals what the Moonstones want to know. He tells them Madame Albany's location. He says, "She's at the Charles Lawton Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, but you have to share your most painful memory or it will only look like a regular movie theater. Now please help me, I need medical attention." The Moonstones send him into another magical book, The Island of Dr. Moreau. It is a book from 1896 about a mad scientist who creates human-animal-like hybrid beings via surgery. So they leave Angus there to be brutally operated on. The Moonstones then teleport over to this Charles Lawton Theater. Now they all have to share a painful memory, their most painful memory, in order to gain entrance. Regan, who by the way is a homosexual, his most painful memory was getting caught by his mom jerking off to Saved by the Bell. I'm assuming it was probably to Zach or Slater and not Screech or Mr. Belding. Cordelia's painful memory is their mom leaving them. Gabriel's painful memory is burying his dead daughter. The three Moonstones successfully share their most painful memory, and they gain entrance into the Black Kingdom and search for Madame Albany. They find her watching an old movie from 1953 called Stalag 17. The Moonstones point their wands at her and tell her to surrender. It's 3-on-1. Madame Albany is not worried though, she says. Have you ever seen this movie? It's a Billy Wilder from his golden era. American soldiers in a German internment camp, and one of the group is working for the Nazis. The men think it's William Holden, but the traitor turns out to be the lovely Sergeant Price. That seems like an appropriate moment to pause. So in the movie, someone that they didn't think was a traitor happened to be a traitor. Regan starts yelling at her and tells her to stand up and turn around. I'm not gonna do this while you've got your back to us, so you do as you're told. And Madame Albany replies, your brother's machoism is giving me a headache, Gabriel. Would you do something about it, please? And Gabriel replies, no problem. He points his wand to his brother Regan's head and blasts his head off, killing his brother. Gabriel was the traitor. Gabriel was actually this Venetian assassin. We've seen this whole storyline. By wearing the Venetian robes, he was able to mask what he was doing. All that stuff with the horologium monster, that was just misdirection and was planned. Elsewhere, we see Louise, Gabriel's wife, is in a diner with some of Madame Albany's renegades. She is not in Moonstone Castle, as we recently saw. So something is going on there that we are not privy to. Madame Albany tells Cordelia, of course Gabriel was my assassin. Who else has the power to murder all those senior wizards? His wife is in a diner, waiting for him. He promised he'd be back with a special reward. Cordelia replies, bullshit! Louise is hiding in Moonstone Castle. Uncle Edgar's looking after her. And Madame Albany says, oh, really? In Moonstone Castle, it is revealed that the Louise that was invited in there was not actually Louise, but rather Lord Cornwall, the shapeshifter. Lord Cornwall shapeshifts out of his Louise form and into his normal form, and he attacks Uncle Edgar. Back in the Black Kingdom, Madame Albany tells Cordelia, now that Lord Cornwall's in the house, I'll have the orichalcum. He's going to bring it here, and that's when all the fun begins. Gabriel tells his sister it was all a charade to fool you, Cordelia. The horologium, the attack on the house. Madame Albany is going to bring my daughter back. Something Dad would never do in a million years. I just had to give her you guys. And Cordelia asks, so you murdered your own family? And Gabriel answers, you never had a child, you wouldn't understand. It was my fault she died, my little girl, and I just couldn't live with that. Madame Albany, in a way trying to put Cordelia at ease, says, besides, it's not like I want to rule the world. Everything will be exactly like it was. I just want to right a wrong. Cordelia asks her brother, don't you see what's going on here? She's using your grief to get what she wants. But then Gabriel reveals he was actually the mastermind behind this. He says, actually, I was the one that went to her. Cordelia realizes that she's not in a good situation here. She says, oh shit. Well, it's still just the two of you against me. This isn't completely impossible. You might be off the scale, but I've been doing this my whole life, too. So she is preparing to fight her brother and Madame Albany. But Madame Albany replies, I'm afraid it's more like 9 against 1, sweetheart. Who told you I was down here on my own? We see Cordelia is surrounded by various members of the Renegades, and Madame Albany tells her on the plus side you get to be the sacrifice that brings your little niece back, and Gabriel tells his sister, "I'm really genuinely sorry." Cordelia, scared and shocked, doesn't know how she is going to get out of this one. Issue 6, the final issue in this volume. We see on the cover, Cordelia is wearing a Fight Like a Girl t-shirt. Will she battle back and save the day, or will Madame Albany and Cordelia's traitor brother Gabriel win? Cordelia, talking with her brother, starts begging for him to stop this. Gabriel explains he's only doing this to bring Rosetta back to life. Cordelia asks, "By murdering your own family?" And Gabriel answers, "I know it's hard, but losing Dad and Regan is nothing next to losing your own child. I wouldn't have even needed Madame Albany if Dad had just helped me, but he was always too straight. He wouldn't even have opened the orichalcum." Cordelia pleads with her brother, saying, "Come on." And Gabriel coldly answers, "I'd murder you all 100 times over if it meant bringing her back." Over in Moonstone Castle, the shapeshifter Lord Cornwall is walking towards the orichalcum. He approaches the book and opens it and begins reading through it. Madame Albany, gloating to Cordelia, says, "I believe you advertise yourself as some sort of an escapologist. Well, let's see you get out of this." Cordelia replies, "I already have." Madame Albany, confused, asks, "Nonsense! Your friends are dead. You're completely surrounded." And Cordelia continues and says, "Wrong again. You see, there's an upside to being the disobedient one in the family. Sure, I've always made the worst possible choices, but sometimes you learn things when you're doing what you shouldn't be. Sometimes you learn shit that actually saves the day. I've read every page of the orichalcum, you smuggled bitch, because my father told me not to. Raising the dead? Human sacrifice? I've got that shit down cover to cover." Madame Albany to this says, "Oh no," and Cordelia replies, "Oh yes." Cordelia does some of the magic from the orichalcum that she memorized, and with it, she is able to bring back to life all the various dead members of the magic order that Madame Albany and Gabriel as the Venetian killed earlier. They are all back. Madame Albany is shocked and surprised, and Leonard, who has been freshly brought back to life, tips his hat and says, "A good magician always has a trick up her sleeve." Madame Albany, exasperated now, says, "Impossible! There must be a sacrifice to keep the dead among the living." And Regan, who's now alive again, jumps in and says, "I got my eye on one or two possibilities." Cordelia and all the returned members of the magic order, with wands in hand, shoot and kill almost all of Madame Albany's allies in the room. Over in Moonstone Castle, things are not what they seem like there either. Lord Cornwall is reading the orichalcum book, but Uncle Edgar is still alive and he confronts Lord Cornwall. Uncle Edgar has his pet pterodactyl, Isaac, on his shoulder, and he walks up to Lord Cornwall. But Lord Cornwall is not intimidated by Edgar, who's just an old man. But Edgar tells his pet pterodactyl to fly away so it doesn't get hurt, and then he says, "I killed 1,000,000 people when I last used my powers, and I'd have killed a lot more if they hadn't built these walls around me. I'm not locked up to protect me from the outside world. I'm locked in here to protect the outside world from me." Uncle Edgar was always saying earlier in the book that he can't leave the world of Moonstone Castle. Well, now we know why. Because he's too dangerous on the outside. Uncle Edgar, using his magic powers, makes Lord Cornwall's body explode. Back over to Madame Albany, Gabriel, Cordelia, and the Magic Order. A big battle is happening. Leonard Moonstone, the father, is pursuing Madame Albany. Albany is trying to fight back, but she is no match for Leonard. Leonard, with his wand, manages to slice Madame Albany in half, killing her. Gabriel, though, is still a threat to be reckoned with. He is the only enemy left right now. He begins levitating in the air, yelling for them to give me that book, you bastards! Let me have my daughter back, or I'll send you all to hell! The battle rages on. Eventually, Cordelia offers a deal to her brother. She says that if Gabriel stops this and sacrifices himself, his blood could resurrect his daughter. If he gives up now, she promises that she will save Rosetta. Gabriel, he stops immediately. He says, "What?" Gabriel calms down and levitates down to his sister, and he goes up close to her and asks her if she promises to bring Rosetta back. And Cordelia says that she promises. Gabriel tells his sister, "Just tell Rosetta I love her and I'm sorry for what I did. And tell Louise the same, and I hope she understands." Cordelia asks if Gabriel is ready to go, and Gabriel's last words are, "Just make it quick." A large, bright light engulfs the area, and Gabriel is dead. Gabriel is walking in the afterlife. He is engulfed in a bright light, and as he is walking, he sees his daughter walking the other way past him. We see Leonard. He is kneeling over Gabriel's dead body. Gabriel's face is all burned off, and Leonard is crying, saying, "Gabriel, my little boy." All of a sudden, a little girl appears. It is Rosetta, Gabriel's dead daughter, now alive. Rosetta says, "Aunt Cordelia? Is that you? Last thing I remember, we were playing in the cellar. How did I get out here?" Cordelia, crying, hugs Rosetta. In the aftermath, Gabriel's wife Louise is punished for her part in Gabriel's schemes, as she knew everything, knew about all the murders he was committing. Cordelia and Edith, the librarian, decide to trap Louise within the magical version of the book Crime and Punishment. So that is her punishment. There is a funeral for Gabriel. For now, Regan will be taking care of Rosetta and raising her. And Leonard, he decides to resign from the Magic Order. He wants to find Cordelia's mother and explain everything to her and hopefully make things right again. Leonard, he entrusts Cordelia to be the new leader of the Magic Order. He says there was a vote, and it was unanimous, and they want her. Even though she has broken the rules by reading the Orichalcum, he knows that she did save their lives, and he thinks it's time he appreciates what she brings to the table. Cordelia accepts her new role. Leonard also wants Cordelia to take on one other new role. In issue 1, we learned that a member of the Moonstone family performs on stage at the Coliseum Theater every night. Well, not literally every night, but most nights in this theater since 1885. And he wants Cordelia to take it over. He tells her it'll be 5 shows a week, 40 weeks a year. The pay's not great, but you'd be doing me an enormous favor. Cordelia agrees to follow in her father's footsteps. And the final image of the volume is Cordelia performing in front of a packed crowd at the Coliseum Theater, and she has just finished her performance for the night. And she takes a bow and says, "Thank you all, and a very good night." And that is the end of Volume 1 of the Magic Order. Alright, so that was Volume 1 of the Magic Order. And this is my first time reading this book a few weeks ago, and I thought it was really good. It was better than I expected. When I read the first issue or two, at first I wasn't fully into it. I was like, there are so many characters. I'm forgetting who's who and exactly what's going on, but eventually I kind of got it, and then I was just hooked and really into it. I loved the artwork. I loved the twists and turns in the story. how, this assassin is magically killing all of these people, and they have the world building of this magic order and how that all works. And then we have this Madame Albany, a great villain, this sort of sexy female badass that's full of herself. And she has some really great lines of her being really sort of pompous in this story. And I loved all that. I loved the twist that Gabriel was this assassin the whole time. I did not see that coming. And when that gets revealed, it's a little mind blowing. And then I liked the kind of twist again we have in the final issue where Cordelia turns out that she has read this orichalcum book and she uses it to bring everyone back to life and turn the tables and win in the end. Oh man, it was just a exciting, good time. I had a really good time with this story. Now, was it a little bit of a cop-out that Cordelia was able to bring everyone back to life? Maybe, but I don't know, I kind of dug it. And I'm really excited to see where Volume 2 goes. I'm going to give this volume a 8 out of 10. Really good stuff. Now, Volume 2 is actually going to start coming out in just a few days. So now is a really good time to pick up that series and follow it as it comes out. So look for that at your local comic store or online or what have you in a few days. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back next week with more comics.